New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev Julie and Rev Skip each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
Well, hello, everyone. It must be Friday. It is the High Vibe Hour. What's happening? Welcome. I am Rev Skip. I am a spiritual leader, a teacher, a yoga instructor. I do it all. And again, I am grateful that it's Friday.
Yes. I'm Reverend Julie Moret. I am an inspirational speaker and spiritual teacher at the Agape International Spiritual Center, founded and directed by Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. I love our Fridays. It's like a time to just kind of let loose and share what's working and share some juicy stuff that I find so helpful. So I love these. And I love that Liz was waiting to get in. So welcome, Liz.
Welcome, Liz. Grateful that you're here. Before we jump off, I got to say one thing. Last Sunday at Agape, if y'all missed it, you got to go back and see the replay. Agape was so freaking lit. It was so powerful.
Tim Lewis, what?
Tim McAfee Lewis. I mean, just memories of back on the Buckingham days before Agape moved to Beverly Hills. We were in Culver City, and those days came rushing back. I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. This is the reason why we celebrate birthdays. This is why we celebrate this energy, this vibration. But it was so amazing. How was it for you being there in person live?
You know, it was really special. And I so appreciated, like, they really were pulling the practitioners and ministers in, and we got to be up there on stage and be a part of it all. And I just feel proud. Like, I feel proud to be that I've given myself this, that I've given myself this community, because I am somebody that, like, I dip in and dip out of a lot of different things. And I think Agape and my marriage are like the two things I've lasted in.
I love it.
And I really just like, I felt proud because we're doing good stuff, and we stream to over 180 countries and territories every week. So that feels good to me.
Like, what was the crazy number? Over 1 billion streams? At one point, I heard a number, something crazy, over 1 billion streams since we've been love streaming. And it's just incredible. I say we because I still drop in and I still watch every Sunday. I'm part of the we. I wasn't there because I was out actually feeding the unhoused. So my plan was to do what I need to do at North Hollywood Church of Religious Science, get in a car, come over. But I remember that I made a commitment to our Helping Hands ministry that we go out on the third Sunday of every month to feed the unhoused. And I just felt the Spirit was saying, do what you said yes to do. And I realized I was listening to it while I was helping feed on my phone on YouTube. I was listening to it. I was like, this is so good. But I realized this is our principles in action. Me being out feeding the unhoused is part of what I learned at Agape. Service, service, service.
You're fulfilling the mission. Like, you're doing what the intention was. Reverend Michael, it's really funny because at one point when I was getting towards the end of my training in ministerial school, I think it was Rev Cheryl Ward, I'm not sure, somebody got up and said, the whole intention is to, like, give us this information, give us the education, and then go out in the world. And I was just like, arms crossed, like, I'm so sorry, I'm not leaving this. Like, this is my home. I'm not leaving. You could try to kick me out, but I'm not going. So on behalf of Reverend Michael and his intention, thank you for going out into the world.
This is very interesting as we're talking about preparing for holidays and families and all that. And Agape is a family. And I was just like that. I don't want to leave home. When I was graduating from ministerial school, and Reverend Michael said the same thing. You're not here to stay. And I said, I don't want to go anywhere. He's like, okay. And he said this in one of our symposiums. He said that when you are fully willing and you say, I'm available, the universe is going to show up and say where you're going to go. just be open. And I said, okay, I'm available. I'm willing. I'm open, stomping my feet, being a little bratty. We talk about being bratty. And I would say maybe a week and a half later, I get a call from Florida. I went, really? God, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I heard this thing in my head. Are you really committed to this? And I went, okay, there's a reason why I'm going to Florida. So I had to leave the nest.
I think it was a part of, and by the way, I got the call for that and sent it out to the ministers at Agape because I wasn't going to go. Like, I'm not leaving. That was my bratty thing. And I think that your going there cultivated you in so many ways. It was so powerful for you to step into leadership and in many ways have an experience quite similar to Reverend Michael's first experience. Right?
Absolutely. And it's so interesting. I remember when you sent that to us, Rev, and I went, I'm not going. And it was Chris Michaels from Florida, who was a senior minister at that time, called me. And he said, listen, and I'm like, I'm not going to Florida. No. Then Reverend Michaels said what he had to say in symposium, be open and willing and available. And then a week later, I get a call from Fort Lauderdale saying, will you come? We like what you're doing online. We see you. We follow you. You're dynamic. Are you willing? I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. I hear you.
But that's a powerful thing to think about. It's like, I'm thinking for myself. I'm thinking of anybody listening. Like, we get these opportunities regularly, and it's up to us to give the yes. Like, the universe is constantly serving up opportunity to grow, to cultivate, to expand. And how often do you just say no? How often am I like not ready, or I don't want to, or I feel afraid? And my mantra over the last, I would say at least 6 or 7 years has just been like, yes. And it scares me because I end up going to countries and places and doing things that I don't feel prepared for. So that's my growing edge. But the fact that you were able to give a yes and have a very significant experience, like, because you were able to get to and through that successfully, what else is possible now?
Absolutely.
I love that phrase. Like, anybody that's gotten through a hard thing, because you were able to make it to the other side, whether it was graceful or not, what else is possible now?
And the other thing too is now I'm assistant minister at North Hollywood, which is right down the block from Beverly Hills. I'm very close. In fact, I drop in every once in a while to do the pulpit rotation for ministers at their way of meditation, which I'm still very much connected. What I do love about this, and we're going to talk about families in a moment, I do love about the fact that I was in Florida, but I called you maybe 3 or 4 times, and I was going through some dark times. I said, I just need to check in. And you would come up onto my Instagram feed, and there was probably the one before I made the decision to come home. I was in such a dark place, and Spirit said, call Reverend Julie. You are my family. You are my family, and I got a chance to talk to you in the midst of my challenges. And thank you for being family. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I love this time of year where we get to take a moment and think about family, think about chosen family, think about who do I want to be as a member of family, biological or chosen or both. I think it's a powerful time. And one of the things that came up for me that I really want to work with in the second part of today is forgiveness. I had such a powerful awareness just a few minutes ago. You were talking about, sharing experiences with family and Thanksgiving and memories and stuff like that. And what I realized was when I was a kid, Thanksgiving was my very, very favorite holiday, like my favorite holiday. And something happened in my early teens in my family that was painful to me. And it was around the time of Thanksgiving, and it ruined Thanksgiving for me. So I think I've had happy Thanksgiving since, but there's a tinge, it's not clean. And so in this next half hour, when we're going to do a little forgiveness stuff, and I hadn't even thought in terms of focusing in on that, but I am.
And I'm going to focus in, look at us growing. I'm going to focus in on the practice half. We call it the practice half, something called name it and tame it. You know, a name it and tame it is something that I'm starting to kind of work with, is that you name what you're feeling and you have the control to tame it. We can go into a deep spiral with our triggers, and we all have it. I think I talked about this last week. We all have Uncle Jojo and Aunt Nene that just like, they know the buttons to pull. Like, when you going to bring a wife home? Well, that ain't happening anytime soon. Well, what about them kids? You know, you said they're going, really, y'all, come on. So we can name it. I am pretty irritable here, but I know how to tame it. So we'll talk about this later on. You know, I for me, Thanksgiving, and this is going to be kind of our catch up as we're moving into, it's actually a myriad of experiences for me and emotions. I love this time because I get to see family, but also I know that there are parts of this season that reminds me of loss. My father's birthday is on the 24th, on November 24th, and my sister made her transition on the 14th of November. So I'm always going through this kind of roller coaster myriad of experience, and it's been very interesting for me to be in that place as I'm preparing to go home to New Jersey. Things are rising up, things are coming up, and I'm very open and willing to ask that one question: what is seeking to emerge? What I've been doing around this, I've been having a tea ceremony. I've been working with oolong tea, which I have my teapot right here, which I love my teapot. And I sit there and I pour my tea into my cup, and I ask myself, in the midst of this feeling, what is coming up for me here? What is coming up for me? And a lot has come up that I never really liked my father. I love my father, but I never really liked my father. And you're talking about forgiveness, how important it is to remember forgiveness is that doorway to our own healing. So for me, forgiving my father for the things I think he didn't do, it's very, very important time for me in this time when we're celebrating his birthday.
Yeah, there is this phrase, it's in a reading by Marianne Williamson, where she calls it gracious generosity. When we practice forgiveness, because whatever you're forgiving is from the past.
Yes.
It's from the past. And so to be in the present moment, when we stay in unforgiveness, it's anchoring us to the past. So it's about being in this moment. And that phrase, like gracious generosity, really resonates with me. I know we'll get to that more in depth in a few minutes. But yeah, and there's a freedom that comes with dropping the rope, you know?
Do you remember that book? I think it was Mary Tumpkin wrote the book, Before You Pray, Forgive.
Oh my gosh, is that funny? Because I just posted something that said we've been talking all about gratitude. Literally, I just posted something saying we talk a lot about gratitude when it comes to Thanksgiving, but maybe a pre-step is forgiveness. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Powerful, powerful. Do you have any, besides the memories that come up for you, or anything that you can tap into as we're moving into this holiday season?
In what way? Like memories?
Any memories? Anything comes up?
Pecan
anything?
Pie. Pecan pie. Is there anything else?
Pie.
Is Thanksgiving about anything else? Is there anything? And I have a dilemma, so maybe y'all can weigh in on this.
What?
I have a dilemma.
Okay. Talk to me.
I'm hosting. Okay.
Yeah.
Everything, right? And so I sent out on a group text. I asked everybody that's coming, like, what pies do you need to have? Like pumpkin, apple, pecan. And everybody said pumpkin and apple. Like nobody said pecan. And of course, pecan is the most fattening of all the pies. But it's not Thanksgiving without it. It's not Thanksgiving without it. And you were asking me last week, do you do any like sugar-free gluten? No, I do all the horrible ingredients. But it's
love it.
My mom's recipe. And it has all the sentimental. So I'm thinking nobody that's attending my Thanksgiving cares one bit about pecan pie. So if I make that pecan pie, like I'm
Oh
going to
my,
be the one eating it. But if
I
I
love
don't,
it.
this is what I talked about last week. If I don't, then I'll have apple pie, I'll have whatever, but the pecan pie will be in the back of my head and it won't stop until I finally get some. So,
And Rev Julie, you do know that there's a difference, and people don't get this. There's a difference. People call what they're using yams as sweet potatoes. There's
yes.
a whole different sweet potatoes and yams are absolutely different, y'all. Sweet
Okay.
potatoes are yellow in color. They are beautiful. So when people say sweet potato pie, unless you're getting actual sweet potatoes, you're doing a yam pie. That is my trigger. It's like, this is the yam pie. This is not a sweet potato, yo. This is not sweet potatoes.
Isn't that funny? But you're bringing up something that's a good point because I sent out
What's
a
that?
message to my guests saying, what's important to you? Right? Because we all have, like, you have your whole sweet potato yam thing.
Yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah,
got my
yeah.
pecan pie thing. So I want to know what is people's things so we can make sure that that Thanksgiving thing gets met as much as
Oh
possible.
my goodness. I love this. We have some people there, chat chiming in. Liz, thank you so much for being here. Liz is here, y'all. And Liz says this, I need a family. I used to love the holidays with families. Oh, so long ago. We'll be your family here, Liz. We love you. Also checking in, it says, what are y'all doing? I don't know. Who is this? I don't know who that is, but okay. Love the stats only. I'm reading all of these things
Yeah.
that are coming from through people. Well, we recognize that you're here, and thank you so much for being in our space.
We're here talking about how to prepare for holidays, emotionally, spiritually, even physically, so that we can move through the holiday season with contentment and peace and joy.
Yes, that's beautiful. Thank you, Rev, for summing that up. Hey, so we're talking about preparing, and we've been in this field, and thank you so much for really honoring what this journey of preparing for this holiday season,
Yeah.
mind, body, and spirit. We've been having some rich conversations. So if you're watching, you can go back and you can listen to all these conversations. They live on both of our YouTube pages, and it lives on the New Thought Media Network page. So you can watch these preparing for this holiday season. What would say in your mind would be the biggest preparation that we can do in general that we may move into next Thursday with ease and grace, filled with love?
You know what? I'm experiencing it a lot this week.
Okay.
And it would be the spiritual practice. It would be taking time to sit in the quietness, which I know when there are holidays and there are a lot of people around and there might be traveling, it can be challenging to stay anchored into any kind of spiritual practice. For me, my spiritual and physical practice keep me emotionally well regulated. They keep like my, survival reactivity, fight, flight, freeze, and appease gets soothed and calmed when I'm really well attending to myself. So I go all in on the things that I can do. Like this is the week prior, and I have been on my spiritual and physical practices like an athlete. I am getting my meditation in. I am practicing Qigong. I am getting my workouts in. And I'm getting like enough fresh, pure, clear, clean water in. I'm making sure I'm getting enough protein. I'm making sure like I'm doing all the things
Right.
because as I mentioned, I'm going to have a very full house next week and I'm hosting. And so that's good. It's great to think about like, what are the things that I can control for next week? Like I want to make sure that even if I dip away, sit in my car, whatever I do for 5 minutes, that I take time in the stillness to myself. That's going to be really important. I'm also going to publicly make a commitment to stay really well hydrated, and that's not just for satiety and organ function, but like brain function, cognition. A large percentage of our brains is water. So I want to stay on my game with water. and foods and all the other things that we've been discussing and will continue discussing. And I'm going to keep my workouts up. Like whatever it takes, I'm going to dip away for at least 30 minutes and get something. Cause even just vigorous movement helps me get, like, I don't have any situations that I'm anxious about in this coming week, but I have had, many times when there would be certain areas of the family I'd be getting around and I'd have full blown anxiety attacks.
Yeah.
And so for anybody that might be in that situation this time, game changers and things that are like really keep me together. For me, it's cardio. Like I just like burn it out.
The cardio, burn it out. You said a couple things that I really want to really tap into. Number one, that's part of one of my hacks. My hacks was sacred stillness. Just taking the time to be still and present every day, coming up to this holiday, during the holiday, sacred stillness. But one other thing you said was keeping your practice of movement. So I had a great conversation with my sister because I'm going home. My sister and I were to a great conversation on the phone, preparing because, mom has round the clock nurses. So we're trying to figure out, well, you're going to be there during the day. Can we let one of the nurses go? What do you need? Can you do this? Okay, I'm here to help. I'm going to be in there. I said, only thing I just want to do every single day, I want to have a little me time. I want to get to the gym. That's all I'm asking. The rest I can, be with mom. I said, I can't really move her right now because of my back, but I will, be there. But it's so important for me to have the sacred time of me time so that I can be in the space of, being not only mentally, but physically healthy enough to do what I need to do.
Yeah. And for me, it means planning it out. Because if I don't have a plan, it's just not going to happen. And if I leave it to the end of the day, it's not going to happen. So
Morning
that's
time.
Really helpful for me is just like put a parentheses around it. Like it's got to happen. So
the other thing too is
I don't show up for a breakfast or something. Like it might mean I don't do every single event,
Right. The other thing too, I believe is so important, especially coming up with something you talked about last week, is we can actually do sacred visualization of really visualizing what this week looks like, which I absolutely love that you shared that last week.
Yeah. What do you want? What do you want?
See it in your mind.
The smartest, most like simple thing in the world, but to decide before entering any environment, before entering any meeting or a dating situation or anything, occasion, who do I want to be? What do I want to experience? And it's like a revelation to me because I'm a chameleon. I can go with the flow. I can blend in. And so for so much of my life, I would just enter unwittingly. I would enter and whatever the environment is, I would become or match. So that's great if it's good, but it sucks if it's not. And so to take the power of saying, you know what, I want to feel. What do you want to feel? I want to feel peaceful. I want to feel easy. I want to feel calm. I want to feel joy. I want to appreciate this. One of the things that came up for me is that I have like a romanticized vision in my mind of what the holidays are like. And then every January, I'm disappointed because it's like, oh, they're over. And I didn't
Here's your brother.
This, or I stayed so busy, or I missed that. And so I literally just like, I made notes in my calendar to be present, to go for the walks in the places where all the holiday decorations are, to slow down and savor this so that I don't feel like, I missed it again come January.
And go back to what we were saying even a couple of weeks ago about being in the Zen practice of recognizing right where you are is absolutely perfect. Because I romanticize Thanksgiving and Christmas as well from Hallmark. I am like, where is my big hunky man from the country house that I wanted to fall in love with over the Christmas holiday? And, where's my cabin? And, and just things that we get from our Hollywood and
he's on Netflix. All those
Yes,
movies
things on Netflix.
right
It's
there.
like, oh, where's my hunky lumberjack who ends up being a wealthy millionaire or billionaire? Come on now. But that
And
really brings
spiritually
us,
conscious.
yeah, but it brings us to that spiritually conscious. That brings us to this idea of, do we really have the ability to recognize the blessings that we're in right here, right now for the Thanksgiving, be grateful, or are we still fantasizing for something that is given to us through Netflix? What?
Right.
Come on now. Come
Yeah.
on now.
And also the idea of whatever it is you want, be it. So
Mm.
be a sexy lumberjack, but also
Right, exactly. Be a sexy lumberjack. But here's the other thing too. I'm sorry. Just one other thing.
go.
The only thing that's missing is what we're not willing to bring.
Wow.
The only thing that is missing in our relationships in our world is what we're not willing to bring. So, can I be my own sexy lumberjack? Yes, I can. I got some muscles on me. I can be my own sexy lumberjack. And to understand that there's nothing missing. It's right here. And that takes growth, y'all. That takes some growth, some time. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break. What were you going to say about that?
Yeah, no, I'm really resonating with what you say, because it's like, okay, be my own sexy lumberjack. But I really want one, like that feeling. I'm wondering how to honor that too, right? Like, and I know that when we be what we want, we attract it. I know that. But I also just want to leave a space for the ache and the longing. It's like, when we pray. That were miss their physical presence. So I'm thinking right now about, like, I just want to leave a space for when there is an ache or there is a longing, and what do we do with that? And that's where I always think of service, like when I feel like I'm missing something or I don't have something, nothing fills that emptiness like reaching out a hand to somebody else. And
I was going to say,
way.
and I was just going to say too, and it just flew in and it flew right out. What I was going to say. Okay, but here's the truth: is that for me, and this is it's like, what is the underlying? Here's what I was going to say: what is the underlying current of the sexy lumberjack? Do I really want a sexy lumberjack, or do I just want to experience intimacy with someone I really care about? For me, I got to go through all this. Is it I want a big, beautiful home, or do I just want a home where I can entertain on Thanksgiving myself? What is the underlying current of what it is I'm really wanting here? It's like, do I really want to eat another piece of pie? Am I really hungry? Do I really want to remember Mom's pecan pie? And she makes the greatest pecan pie ever. My mother's recipe, so dope. Do I need an extra? Do I just want to feel closer to my mom?
My mom does, but go ahead.
We'll have a pecan pie cook-off. Mama's pecan pie cook-off. But what is the reason for it? I mean, sometimes I don't want macaroni and cheese. I just want to feel close to my mom.
Yeah, you are so speaking my language here. And I'm so excited to share this. This is like one of my favorite tools to share. When there is a longing, when there is a want, I always ask, what's the quality of God that I'm desiring, that I think I will experience when I have that, when I eat that piece of pie, when I have that lumberjack, when I get that job, when I get that acknowledgement, what is the quality of God that I feel I will experience? Qualities of God are things like peace, love, joy, bliss, ecstasy, harmony, ease, balance, power, affluence, abundance, creativity, ecstasy, prosperity, wholeness, health, vitality, ease, grace. Like, what's the quality of God? Intimacy. So So yeah, I see you, Liz. So intimacy, what's the quality of God back of that? When you're feeling intimacy with another, for example, what quality of God would that bring you? And then I hone in on those qualities of God. And what happens is we attract people, places, circumstances, and events that resonate at the energetic frequency of the quality, right? So I think that's a really powerful tool that might have gotten a little heady. So I'm going to just like bottom
No,
line it.
it was good. No, it was so good. It was so good. I got it.
Okay. So whatever it is that you want, that I want, that we want.
Yeah.
Because when you said, so I'm going to do it with a pecan pie right now.
Okay.
When I think of it because it's delicious and yummy and I love it. But underneath that it reminds me of family, a time when family felt like family to me. And so under than that, what is it that I want? Like love, connection, right? So that's really rich to me. And I think, taking the time to acknowledge that is empowering to know what's really up, right?
You said something that just really touched my heart. I'm about to have a tear roll down my eyes here. You said, I want to feel like what family really feels like to me.
Yeah.
It's not even about, I love my blood family, but I'm closer to my chosen family even more. I believe that for me, part of this kind of nostalgia romance of what Thanksgiving is and what Christmas is, always wishing that my family experience felt like the Hallmark card. Wow, I didn't expect to go this deep today.
I'm so glad though, because we all have this, we all have that deep inside. And so part of it is acknowledging what does my soul crave? How can I give that to like the little me? I do a lot of work with that, so if what I'm longing for is nurturance, probably even beneath the love that I spoke of, probably what I want is nurturance. How can I nurture the little girl version of me?
Ooh, I love it.
I call it my little. How can I nurture her? Right. And then the other thing is, and I know we're going to take a break in a minute. The other thing is, how can I give a little of that romantic thing that I want to experience? So it might mean, taking the time to stroll hand in hand down a place where there are lots of Christmas lights, or, doing something, creating it, deciding to, taking an active step instead of waiting and hoping something happens, like make a plan.
When we come back, I kind of got a download of something that I'm going to do with you when we're talking about forgiveness. The forgiveness of forgiving myself for all the past relationships that I felt were failures. I'm not creating a space for the new relationship to come through, or even the desire to have a relationship. There's something in my soul that wants to have a relationship. Something in my mind says, nope, I'm done. I don't need to have another relationship. This is going really deep here today.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, we're going to take a little bit of a break here at the New Thought Media Network. This is the High Vibe Hour, and stay tuned. We'll be right back.
New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment. inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment, and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the High Vibe Hour. The High Vibe Hour, 60 minutes of connections, insights, and conversations to raise your vibe. Join Rev Julie and Rev Skip each week for an exploration of living a high vibe life. Tune in live every Friday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time or anytime during the week on our YouTube channel. The High Vibe Hour, only on New Thought Media Network.
And we are back. Woo. Taking a breath. I need a little T and P break there and breath.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for this journey that we get to experience together. And I believe this is a great time for some forgiveness.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Marianne Lockhart sent a message and she's like, I'm so sad I'm missing today. She's at a thing, but she's going to catch the replay. And Liz, I wanted to acknowledge what you said about really wanting that intimacy. And so the opportunity, and I know it's not so fun, but it's the same thing I do. It's the same thing any of us that really want to grow through something is to give it to yourself, whatever it is that you're wanting, to find ways. And so like I held up a picture. I'm part of a women's group and we call these our littles. Like that's me as a little girl.
I love
and
that.
So when I'm feeling like there's something that I need or want, whether it's intimacy or love or connection or nurturance, I literally will, wrap my arms around myself or hold a pillow. And I just envision that little kid version of me. And I give her everything that I want, everything that I'm expecting somebody out there to give me, everything that I feel like, those people were supposed to give me, but they didn't. Right. So that's the opportunity, is to make it your business, to give yourself what you want, make it your business to practice, what it is that you most desire. And it may sound light or annoying because we really want it from somebody else. But what happens is when we give it to ourselves, it creates neural imprints. It does. Yeah. It's impactful on a biological cellular level. It gives the body something it needs. And then that ache longing goes away. And then you begin to attract people outside of yourselves. You know what I mean? So it's a process. And trust me, I have been through, I used to say I've gotten every degree and certification there is out there in personal growth and development, because I was always looking for like the magic pill, the thing that will fix me, heal me, make it all better without having to go through it. And there is no other way. I am convinced we can have moments of awakening. And in order to get to the other side of something, it's going through it. And it means feeling the feelings. So that's the offering.
Yeah. I want to acknowledge Iron Man 24. Thank you for dropping in, because we're really talking about really claiming our feelings. And after, Reverend Julie takes us through a process, I'm going to take us to a process called, name it and tame it. And saying you're sad. A lot of us are sad this time. So can we go through the forgiveness work first?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So this is a piece that Marianne Williamson wrote. It's in her lovely book, A Return to Love. And I just invite you, if you're not driving or operating equipment, you can close your eyes. And this is, as we were saying a little while ago, I think we're coming up on Thanksgiving, and this feels like a pre-step to practice some forgiveness before diving straight to Thanksgiving, to practice a little forgiveness, whether it's of somebody else or of yourself. And to be 100% clear, forgiveness is never about letting somebody else off the hook. It is about allowing freedom and forward movement for yourself. Forgiveness is selective remembering. Forgiveness is selective remembering, a conscious decision to focus on love and just let the rest go. But the ego is relentless. The ego is relentless. It is capable of suspiciousness at best and viciousness at worst. It pretends the most subtle and insidious arguments for casting other people out of our hearts. Forgiveness is the choice to see people as they are now in this moment. When we are angry at people, we're angry because of something that they did before this moment. But what people said or did is not who they are now. Relationships are reborn as we let go of perceptions of another's past. By bringing the past into the present, we create a future just like the past. By bringing the past into the present, we keep recreating a future that is just like the past. By letting the past go, we make room for miracles.
Yes. Yeah.
An attack on another is a reminder of their guilty past. In choosing to affirm another's guilt, we're choosing to experience more of it. It's a hamster wheel. It keeps going. The future is programmed in the present. So to let go of the past is to remember that in the present. To let go of the past is to remember that in the present, the other person is innocent. It is an act of gracious generosity. And I get that that can feel like a huge leap. It is an act of gracious generosity to accept another person based on what we know to be the truth about them, regardless of whether or not they are in touch with that truth in themselves. This is a lot of words, but just let what lands.
It's powerful.
Only love is real. Like of all the words I just said, only love is real. Nothing else actually exists. If a person behaves unlovingly, that means that regardless of their negativity, anger, or whatever, their behavior was derived from fear and does not actually exist. They're hallucinating. You forgive them then because there's nothing to forgive. Forgiveness is a discernment between what is real and what is not real. Last piece. When people behave unlovingly, they have forgotten who they are. They have fallen asleep to the Christ within them. The job of the miracle worker is to remain awake. We choose not to fall asleep and dream of another's guilt. In this way, we are given the power to awaken them. So that's a lot. And that may be like too far a stretch for some people, but I just want to offer up the beginning steps, however much you're able to do. Sometimes in my mind, I think of it as a tug of war. And can I just let my end of the rope go for a second or maybe forever? And you could just bring it back to, it's going to give me freedom. It's going to help my health, you know, the agitated stomach or the whatever, like me letting this go gives me freedom and health.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that a very important thing that you said that I caught right away was that we are programming our presence with our past.
Right.
We keep reliving it. And we are now bringing our past into the present. That's what we're getting more of until we're willing to release. And I'm hearing that, to release that past, that unforgiveness, that space. Will we ever have a new demonstration of what it is that we truly want?
Yeah.
Powerful.
Super powerful. So I guess the invitation here is to think of maybe some way to symbolically or ritually lay down my end of the tug of war. You know, like sometimes I can imagine if we have energetic cords that connect us with every person that we're engaged with. So sometimes I'll imagine, and I can invite you, if there's somebody you want to practice forgiveness with, I imagine like pulling the cord out of my body, like from the root, and pulling it out of theirs and just taking it out. And I imagine cleansing that area where that connection between me and another was, cleansing it, purifying it, filling it with rose-colored healing energy, cauterizing it, sealing it. And if there's a new connection, a clean or healthy connection that wants to happen, then it may grow newly. So that's one practice. Or it could be as simple as, I'm going to let go of my end of this tug of war, because as you just highlighted, it's just keeps reprogramming me. Like, I can forgive somebody, but the second I think about how they did me wrong, I'm just reactivating that program. So in whatever way can I just lay it down for myself?
For yourself. And another simple way of simply doing this, we do this every year. We can actually, and if you're in a safe place, safe environment to do it, you can take whatever it is that you're willing to forgive or something that you're willing to release, and you can take it like some sage and you can just set it ablaze and watch the smoke, see it flow away. And that's a sacred practice that our indigenous brothers and sisters gave us. Sage cleanse the auric field and any energy that you're holding on to. So you can take that, you can smudge yourself as you're seeing yourself forgiving that person and releasing that unforgiveness. It's a practice and it works. Sage works, y'all. Sage works.
Right. But I got to say, there's also a discipline. For me, there's a discipline in this, because once you do it, it's like when we pray, you don't keep praying. Like, you pray for something and then you release it and trust and decide that it is done. So once there's forgiveness, there is a bit of discipline to not bring it back up again. There is
because it will. It kind of sneaks back up.
Like, there's certain things that I've worked through in relationships, and I have an agreement with folks. Like, you know, you said everything, I've said everything. We got to lay it down now, because otherwise we're just going to spin up again. What is your self-talk if something comes up? Mine is, this is no longer in my consciousness. I do not entertain this thought. I say that quite a bit. When I know that I'm doing the work around something, no, this is no longer in my consciousness. I do not entertain this thought. And it helps me to re-release something, because it has a tendency to come back up. Yeah, I'm not as evolved as you, because my inner brat is like, but I'm right. But I'm right, and I need to win this argument, and I can, because I've got the evidence, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's really a discipline, and it's not fun, because sometimes, like, the ego can't wait to say, but you did this.
And you should have done that. Yes.
Yeah, it's like in relationships, there are certain agreements that I think are so important to say, like certain things boundaries, like in a marriage, you never threaten divorce unless you really mean it. Like, to me, that's just like a non-negotiable.
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up unless you mean it. If you mean it, and your actions have, we talk about cause and effect. There's an effect to all of our actions. I don't say consequences, but things happen because you've made a choice to do something. So when you're coming up with divorce, you're coming up with, I got to let you go, or I'm stepping out of this relationship, understand what you are saying. Be very clear about this decision that you're making.
Yeah.
So I want to take us through a very simple practice, and I call it name it and tame it. And name it and tame it comes from a place where I realize how much I can be triggered, and things come up in me very quickly, especially when it's in relationships and in spaces where you are with other people. You're in other people and you're able to go, okay, I'm sitting at the table and Uncle Jojo just said something that I am so not with, and I'm feeling it coming up. We can recognize when we are feeling triggered, when we're feeling some energy, some vibration, and you have the power to not go there. You have the power to not go there. So when you choose not to, you're able to go, okay, but what is the truth within me? Like, when are you going to get married? And you feel that, and you say that all the time. You name it. I am feeling angry, but how can I tame this? I don't have to be married to feel enough. So those are some of the things you can do at your table, at your dinner table. You can do it on a Sunday, or you can do it wherever. It's very simple. Just, I'm going to name this, and now I'm going to tame it with the work that you know that you've done. The
and you're
truth
doing that
is,
inside yourself. You're not saying it out loud for the whole Thanksgiving.
yeah, and no, you're doing that within yourself, because part of this is when aunties and uncles and grandparents say, "Why aren't you married?" We hear in our minds, "What's wrong with you?"
Mm-hmm.
And even if you can't name that, that's what we are hearing, until we're willing to really hear it and to see that that's what we're hearing. Will we able to really understand? And this is deep rooted shadow work.
Yeah. Oh, I want to layer something in here.
Yeah,
In
sure, absolutely.
neuroemotional technique, we call it notice, name, touch. So say you're at the Thanksgiving table and somebody says something and it's an ouch, the first thing that I do is I notice, like, oh, like they're smiling and making it sound like they're saying something nice, but that didn't feel good. So notice. And like you said, name it. Inside myself, I name what it is, and then touch. So the idea is to touch in to that feeling. And so it can be a physical touch. Like I do a thing where, I've anchored in when my hand is up here, like I've anchored in, like holding my little inner child. So that works really well for me. But you can do something so subtle when you're around a ton of other people, where you just place a hand over your belly, over your heart, or your solar plexus, or something like that. Or, one of the things we've done a lot is it's called self-petting, when you take a hand down the arm.
EFT.
That's soothing. It's very soothing to the nervous system. It creates the release of oxytocin, and all of these things. The way that we touch in to the feeling is a way of becoming trustworthy to yourself. That's deep, because that little person inside that wants the pecan pie or wants the sweet potato or whatever it is, that child within that wants it the way that it wants it, that has that romantic notion of something, when we touch in, it lets our innermost aspect know, I am trustworthy, I've got you. And that's how, like that intimacy that Liz mentioned, that's how we kind of grow ourselves up and take care of ourselves and nurture ourselves.
And it's important too that once this immediate feeling tone and you're wanting to get through the dinner, you'll probably take that back to your bedroom or whatever, and you'll still have the feelings. This is something that I've been really doing around my emotional freedom technique. EFT is what you're saying, the touch. It brings in mind that I do a lot of tapping work, and I talk to myself to release that energy. I know I'm feeling sad in this moment, but the truth is that I am not alone. I am here. There's different points that you can tap. Forehead, in the middle, karate chop is very, very common. The clavicle, the heart space, the belly button. There are different areas that you can tap to release the energy. But I'm not suggesting you do some tapping at the dinner table, because you start doing this, I am free from you. It give me a whole nother conversation you're not willing to have.
One last thing that's super easy. I can't even believe the hour's almost up. Is a regulated breath that you can do with nobody noticing. It's kind of a swift in through the nose and slow out through slightly parted lips. That will help regulate when there's anxiety or nervousness.
Whew, that's good. That's so good. Let's
just do a couple. Can we just do a couple breaths? Why not?
Absolutely.
So just breathing in swift through the nose. Slow out through slightly parted lips. We'll do 5. Breathe in swift through the nose. For the next 3, let some sound rumble out from low down in the belly on the exhale. Let it be a delightful sigh. One more. Breathing in. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
I think my takeaway from all of this and my intention for this week is to really kind of double down on taking care of her. I think that's going to be my takeaway, is to really double down on checking in and whether it's placing a hand over solar plexus or belly, or just breathing, or making sure I get my workouts in, or water, or whatever the things are, that I am providing nurturance, you know? And the other thing, my other intention is to be present and create some of those kind of romanticized things that I want to create them, to bring them. That's what I'm going to bring.
I love it.
How about you?
I love it. My takeaway is really keeping the sacred time for myself. And even in the midst of being around family and taking care of mom and understanding, I'm there to be of service. I'm also there to be of service to myself, to honor my practice, honor my mental, my spiritual, my physical practice, to stay centered and showing up in the very best way I can show up. So, and this is it. This is it. Where can people find you, Rev? We always say that.
Yeah, on Instagram at Rev Julie Moret. And I have a book sale that's going up like in the next couple of days. We're going to do my book at half off through Christmas. So if you've been wanting to get it, you'll be able to go on Amazon and get the book at half off. We're going to get that up there in the next day or two. So keep an eye out for that.
Oh, wow. That's great.
What's Your What? How to Ignite Your Unique Brand. And
absolutely. Hold on. Keep talking about, because I can do this. Where are you?
And I'm on Instagram. Yeah, there we go. Got some great testimonials from Michael Beckwith, Jan Van Zandt, Don Miguel Ruiz. And I'm mostly on Instagram at Rev Julie Moret, and I tend to like share things over to Facebook. So yay. How about you?
Absolutely. And same deal, go to Rev Skip Jennings on Instagram. That's where I'm at. And you can go to my website, skipjennings.com, find out more about what I'm doing. And I just realized I'm wearing one of the first t-shirts that I've ever made, and it says, "Just Breathe." So I don't know why I pulled this out of the closet, but it's there. I have a t-shirt line that you can check out. And I'm almost done the editing of the last. Oh, look at this.
Let it breathe. My shirt says let it breathe.
And I'm wearing Just Breathe. I didn't know you were wearing that today.
That's so funny. So can people get your clothing on your website?
Yeah, they go to my website and it'll take you to another place called the Awake Shop. And right now we're in the revamping of the Awake Shop, getting ready for the new year, where we have a whole line of new t-shirts that's coming up. And along with the new book that's coming up, and the new book, Transform in 10 should be out. We're looking at probably February now, but that's okay. It's whenever God says. In the last editing of that. But in the meantime, you can go to Bali with me, going to Bali in March of 2026. Hit me up directly. You can find out, go right to my website, and we have room for you. We have another person that joined us over the week, and so grateful for that. And I'm grateful for you, sis.
Yeah, grateful for you too. I love our time together. It's beautiful.
Yes, and then next week, this is going to be a replay the day after Thanksgiving. We're going to replay this again because we're both going to take some time, be with family. And I have a very quick story. On Black Friday, when I was a kid, I thought Black Friday was when all the Black people went out to shop for Christmas, because everyone in my neighborhood were Black shopping. I'm like, Black Friday, this is one of the Black people coming out to shop. I did not know what it actually. I was a kid. Everyone say Black Friday. Oh yeah, all the Black people out shopping. I thought that for years. Anyway, a little laughter. I love you so much, Rev. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you,
and have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Take care. Peace and blessings, y'all.
Are you passionate about media, storytelling, and making a difference? Welcome to New Thought Media Network, where your voice matters. We amplify diverse voices and share impactful stories. Join us in our mission. We are a nonprofit organization dedicated to creativity and community, looking for enthusiastic volunteers who want to be part of something bigger, learn, grow, and collaborate in various aspects of media production. Incredible support and camaraderie await you here. Your contributions will help us create powerful content that resonates with audiences and drives social change.
Ready to make a difference? Visit our website, www.ntmedia.org, to learn more about volunteer opportunities and how you can get involved.
Find our volunteer inquiry under the Engage tab on our website, or visit www.ntmedia.org/volunteer. We look forward to connecting with you soon.